Hi, I'm teacher Charlene, and today I'm going to read the story Skippyjon Jones. But first, I'm going to read a poem to you called The Cat Came Back. Old Mr. Johnson had a ginger cat who clawed up the chairs and his favorite hat. Nothing in the house was safe from harm, so he gave the cat away to a neighboring farm. But the cat came back the very next day. The cat came back. They thought he was a goner, but the cat came back. He just couldn't stay away. He put the cat outside on a blizzardy night. The wind was howling. What a shivery sight. Never before had they seen such a storm. The cat dug a hole beneath to keep warm. But the cat came back the very next day. The cat came back. They thought he was a goner. But the cat came back. He just couldn't stay away. He gave it to a fisherman who promised he would take the cat on a tour of the bottom of the lake. A scuffle on the boat made a curious sound. When all was said and done, it was the fisherman who drowned. But the cat came back the very next day. The cat came back. They thought he was a goner. But the cat came back. He just couldn't stay away. He put it on the train to the eastbound tracks. He sent it to his sister in Halifax. The engine jumped the tracks as it rounded a bend. The locomotive must not met a twisted, mangled, fiery end. But the cat came back the very next day. The cat came back. They thought he was a goner. But the cat came back. He just couldn't stay away. One day that cat had kittens too, when a giant tornado came twisting through. The house was torn into pieces. The cat flew all about. The air was full of kittens, a catastrophe, no doubt. But the cat came back the very next day. The cat came back. They thought he was a goner. But the cat came back. He just couldn't stay away. Skippyjon Jones by Judy Schlockner. Every morning, Skippyjon Jones woke up with the birds. And this did not please his mother at all. "Get yourself down right now, Mr. Kittenbritches," ordered Mama Junebug Jones. No self-respecting cat ever slept with a flock of birds. She added, scolded or ate worms or flew or did his laundry in Mrs. Doohiggy's bird bath. The lecture went on and on as usual. "You gotta do some serious thinking before you leave this room, Mr. Fuzzy Pants," said his mother, "about just what it means to be a cat, not a bird, not a mouse, or a grouse, not a moose, or a goose, not a rat, or a bat. You need to think about just what it means to be a Siamese cat. And stay out of your closet," she added, closing the bedroom door. But once he was alone, Skippyjon Jones began to bounce and bounce and bounce on his big boy bed. Oh, I'm Skippyjon Jones, and I bounce on my bed, and once or 6 times I land on my head. On his way down to earth from a gigantic big bounce, Skippyjon Jones shot past his bedroom mirror. Holy guacamole! Exclaimed Skippyjon Jones. What was that? Do you look in the mirror sometimes at yourself? What do you see? When my kids were little, I used to tell them that they could see a monkey in the mirror. I didn't know that when they got older, they used to tell me that there was a monkey in the mirror. They didn't know it was them, they just said it was a monkey. So I had to help them know that it was them and not a monkey. So up he went again, and again it appeared. Then, using his very best Spanish accent, he said, "My ears are too big for my head. My head is too big for my body. I am not a Siamese cat. I am a Chihuahua." Back on land, Skippyjon Jones climbed into his toy box and rifled through some of his old junk. After he put on his mask and sword and climbed onto his mouse, Skippyjon Jones began to sing in a muy soft voice. "My name is Skippyjon Jones. I fear not a single bandito. My manners are mellow. I'm sweet like the jello. I get the job done, yes indeedo." As you can see, Skippyjon Jones likes to pretend about things that he might see around him. Do you do that sometimes? See something and pretend to be that person or that thing? It's fun. Back in the kitchen, Jujubee, Jezebel, and Jillyboo Jones were helping Mama Junebug Jones make lunch. "Can Skippyjon come out of his room now?" asked Jujubee. "No," answered Mama Junebug Jones. "Mr. Fluffernutter is still thinking." In fact, Skippyjon Jones wasn't thinking about being a Siamese cat at all. With a walk into his closet, his thoughts took him down a lonesome desert road far, far away in old Mexico. Not long into his journey, a mysterioso band of Chihuahuas appeared out of the dust. "Ay, caramba! Who goes there?" asked Skippyjon Jones. "We go by the name of Los Chimichangos," growled Don Diego, the biggest of the small ones. "Who are you?" "I am El Skipito, the great sword fighter," said Skippyjon Jones. Then the smallest of the small ones spoke up. "Why the mosquito, dude?" asked Poquito Tito. "I go incognito," said Skipito. "Do you like rice and beans?" asked Pintulito. "See, I love mice and beans," said Skipito. "He might be the dog of our dreams," whispered Rosalita. "Perhaps," said Tia Mia, "if he knows the secret password." Sometimes when we pretend, we think of lots of different things that we hear too. So if you hear something, you might say it as part of what you are pretending. Leaning towards Don Diego, El Skipito half sneezed, half spoke the secret password into the Chihuahua's very large ear. "Achoo-pichoo!" "Bless you," said Don Diego. "Gracias," said Skipito. Then it is true, decreed Don Diego. Yip, yippee, yippee do! It's the end of Alfredo Bozito! Skippyto is here! We have nothing to fear! Adios to the bad Bumblebito! Then all of the chimichangos went crazy loco. There's a lot of words in here that are not English. They're in Spanish, and some of them are made up words. Sometimes, when I'm trying to talk to somebody that doesn't speak English and speaks in Spanish, I try my best to talk in their language. Just because I'm trying to be respectful, that even though they're different, I can still try to be respectful and learn their language if I can. First, they had a fiesta. What do you think a fiesta is? If you look at the picture, it kind of looks like a party. Then they took a siesta. So if this is a fiesta, what do you think a siesta is? But after waking up, the chimichangos got down to serious business. Using his paw, Don Diego drew a picture in the sand of the great Bumblebito for Skippyto to see. A hush grew over the chimichangos, so great that one could hear a whisker drop. Alfredo Bezito, whispered the crowd. El blimpo, Bumblebito, bandito. Sí, said Pepito Tito. The bandito steals our frijoles. Not your beans, cried Skippyto, outraged. Sí, Poquito continued. Red beans, black beans, Boston baked and blue, cocoa, coffee, kidney beans, pinto and jelly too. And now he comes for us, Paquito added. ¿Por qué? asked Skippyto. Because we are all full of beans too. Then Don Diego stood tall and in his most somber voice declared, Yo quiero frijoles. Huh? asked Skippyto. The dude just wants his beans back, said Poquito Tito. And you are the dog for the job. Me? asked Skippyto. Then all the chimichangos turned toward Skippyto, the great sword fighter. What do you think por qué means? It sounded like he was asking a question. Like the word why. Do you ask why when you want to know something? I know I do. But poor Skippydo had no time for a plan because in the blink of an eye a gigantic shadow darkened the landscape. The chimichangos scattered in all directions. Vamos, Skippyto, or it is you, the bandito will ito, they cried. Skippyto stood his ground, but his legs shimmied and shook like the jello, and his teeth chattered like the castanegas. Then, in a muy soft voice, he said, My name is Skippyto Frisquito. I fear not a single bandito. But Alfredo Bazito flew straight for Skippyto until the bean-eating bandito hovered only inches away from the great sword fighter's face. Holy frijoles! Cried Skippyto as the thrust his sword in the air. Do you think he was really scared? Or do you think he was brave? Sometimes when we're scared, we do things that may seem like we're being brave, but we're just trying to be survivors and help. went the bandito, landing on Skippydo's sword, and quicker than one could say chihuahuas, cheese, and crackers. Every kind of bean came spilling out of Alfredo Bazito, the bumblebito bandito. Then all the doggies burst into song. Yip, yippee, yippee-do! Our hero is El Skippyjo. He's the dog of our dreams who delivered the beans, and now we can make our burritos. Is Skippyjo a dog? He's a cat. Huh. But back at home, there was such a ruckus coming from Skippyjon's room that Mama Junebug Jones and the girls just had to find out what was going on. They raced down the hall to the kitty boy's room. Banguito, Crashito, Papito, Skippyjo! Just in time to see Skippyjon's closet exploding. Then out flew Candy, Beanbag, Doggies, and the kitty boy with his birthday piñata on his head. Skippyjon Jones, everyone cried. Hola, muchachitos, he said in a muy soft voice. Mama Junebug Jones lifted up Skippyjon and covered his head with furry purry kisses. What am I going to do with you, Mr. Cocoa Pugs? She scolded. Does your family sometimes call you different names than what is your real name? I have 2 boys and 2 girls. My boys I always call Bud, and my girls I always call Baby Girl. That night, when he was supposed to be going to sleep, Skippyjon began to bounce and bounce on his big boy bed. Oh, I'm Skippyjon Jones with a mind of my own, and I'll bounce on my bed for hours. I know I'm a cat, but forget about that. Say good night, Skippyjon Jones, called his mama. Buenas noches, mis amigos, said Skippyjon Jones. The end. I have these little gadgets here. They're kind of neat. In each one, there's a little ball. How many balls do I have in my hand? 1. Just 1. And this is the number 1. Let's see if it fits. Just 1 little ball for 1 little tank. How about this one? Let's open it up. How many are there? 1, 2. 2 balls. If I put it in this tank, 1, 2. Number 2. There's the number 3. How many balls does it have inside of it? Shall we count them? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. If we close it, kind of need this one. Put it up. 1, 2, 3. Exact fit. 3 balls to number 3. Make sure you go outside, enjoy the fresh air, and play. See you next time. Bye.